It's 75 years since the start of World War II, but for the Chinese, the bloodshed started a decade earlier when Japan invaded Manchuria. The aggression spread and led to the Nanking Massacre. CCTV's Mark New reports the tragedy was widely unknown in the West until a Chinese-American author brought the harsh reality of Japanese occupation to light.
The chronicle of humankind's cruelty to fellow humans is a long and sorry tale. But if it is true that even in such horror there are degrees of ruthlessness, then few atrocities in world history compare in intensity and scale to the rape of Nanjing. These are the writings of the late author Iris Chang, who shined a spotlight on a dark period of Chinese history when Japanese troops slaughtered hundreds of thousands of Chinese and raped tens of thousands of women in just 6 weeks. Now living in Cupertino, California, Xiaojin and Yingying Chang recall how their daughter Iris asked many questions about their childhood, which led them to tell her stories about her grandparents who escaped just a month before the fall of Nanking. As a child growing up in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, Iris grew curious.
Iris during the time actually went to the library and looking for the rape of Nanking stories in the book. Turns out she couldn't find any book which mentioned the rape of Nanking in the city library.
But while the West placed little emphasis on the Nanking Massacre, ironically, Iris would one day bring to light the diaries of Westerners like American missionary Minnie Vautrin and German businessman John Rabe, two foreigners who stayed behind in Nanking and witnessed the carnage, but also managed to save tens of thousands of Chinese people.
They choose, you have to remember, choose to stay and try to help Chinese people. So this kind of courageous story.
Humanizing a book filled with detailed descriptions of atrocities helped The Rape of Nanking become a New York Times bestseller and earn accolades from the Bookman Review Syndicate as one of the best books of 1997.
I think this book made a tremendous impact at the time. It's because I think it renew people's memory. The most important revelation of the big scope of the massacre, the war crime committed that was just too shocking to the Western people.
But the acclaimed author's life was cut short when at 36 years old, Iris committed suicide. That led to speculation about her death and attempts from right-wing Japanese nationalists to discredit her research, claiming she was mentally ill when she wrote the book. After years of grieving, Yingying found the courage to write a memoir, The Woman Who Could Not Forget. This November will mark 10 years since Iris's death. But sadly, Yingying says right-wing groups have only pushed Japan farther away from apologizing for its role in World War II. Iris's parents say that only underscores why this world needs another Iris. While Iris is the name of a flower, it's also the name of a Greek goddess, one responsible for taking messages from the heavens and sharing it with humanity. Mark New, CCTV, Cupertino, California.